Adventures in stand-up. I'm Lawrence and I'm gonna talk about my adventures in stand-up. Knock, knock, who's there? Me, Lawrence.
Hello. So, welcome to another episode of Adventures in Stand-Up with me, Lawrence Lando, an open mic comedian who knows nothing, but feels the need to give his opinion on everything. I did gig 789 this week, just gone, and it was really interesting, to be honest. So I'll just go over them a little bit. Gig number 7 was on a Saturday night. Concrete Cud, which I really like. Valan, who promotes it, really nice guy. It's a Saturday night in a brewery. Now, it was predominantly open mic comedians, mostly doing 5-minute sets. There were 2 doing 10 minutes. With an MC. Then the following night, I did a night called Cracked Up Comedy, and that was in London, in Kingston. And that was a 5-minute set. And then I did, what did I do? Then on the Wednesday, I did NCF Comedy, which is in Nottingham at the Canal House. And that was a 10-minute set. So that was my first ever 10-minute set. And that was up in Nottingham. So, I'm just going to go over them because there's some really interesting takeaways for me on these. The first one, the Saturday night Milton Keynes one, half-hour drive, lovely, there and back Saturday night. You really recognise the need for a good MC. The MC, I won't go into who it was, but he wasn't very good. Or she. He or she wasn't very good. They forgot the acts that were coming up. They did no crowd work whatsoever. Some of the acts didn't do well, as is to be expected. They're open mic new acts. And at the interval, a lot of the audience didn't come back. And I actually put that on the MC. The MC was not great. He just went up and kept doing, he or she kept going up and doing basically like 2 or 3 minutes of their own material. And sometimes it was dubiously racist material, I would say. And they forgot my name introducing me and decided to call me, when they found out my name was Lawrence of Arabia. And everyone thought I was going to be some kind of character act. So I recognise the importance of that. But what was really interesting there was I had a chat with an actor I've seen before, called GURPS. I can't remember what his Insta thing is. He's very much into social media. I think it's like third blind eye comedy or something. Third eye comedy. I can't remember his name. Nice guy. I really enjoy chatting to him when I see him. He's a different kind of take on progressing in stand-up, so it's interesting. It's a much more modern idea of using social media. But having spoken to him, I ended up writing a joke as I was waiting for, because I was on the second interval, so I was waiting for my bit. I was in the third interval, sorry. But as I was waiting, I wrote a joke when I sat down about social media, just like a 2-line joke, and I did it on the night. Which is great because I'm really trying to get over the fear of doing new material, and I think I have gotten over that. Because I have noticed acts that I've seen more than once now will do the same set over and over, and that's fine because there's no right or wrong way to do stand-up, okay? And that's fine because you could be honing that set. But I do believe every time I've been on stage, the audience is telling me what to rewrite, how to rewrite it. Even if a joke gets a big laugh, the premise or getting to the laugh needs rewriting. The audience tell me. And I like to introduce new material. So that was interesting, writing something there and performing it. And it got one of my biggest laughs. And I do wonder if it's because it was fresh, like a fresh bit, although I did all new material that night, to be fair. I did 6 minutes of new material start to finish, which is good. And I would say out of that 6 minutes, there's probably a good minute and a half to 2 minutes. So, you know, good. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the night. Concrete Comedy, or no, Concrete Cud it's called. Yeah, I like what they're doing. They're building something in Milton Keynes, which is great for me because it's local. The next night, I did this gig in Kingston. So this was interesting because 2 gigs in a row, never done that before. And I did a different 5-minute set. So I've done 10 minutes in 2 nights, all different material. Apart from the one joke that I wrote the previous night, I did that there as well. Interesting, you know, this is like an hour and a bit drive to Kingston. Really nice room, sold out. There must have been somewhere between 60 to 100 people. It's a big gap, I suppose. That would be a big number, but somewhere there. Really nice kind of room, kind of a burlesque type of room. I went up, and it's interesting because it was my older material, and I felt a bit older material. It's gig number 8, but I could tell when I was doing it, it was very static or staccato. There was something not right, and I actually spent my time watching the other acts. And what I noticed is the ones that did well, whether the material was good or not good, they were so fluid. They were so casual in the way they were talking to the audience. I think that's something I've avoided. I've always stood behind the microphone stand, and I've always had my suit jacket on, or like a sports jacket on. So, and I did all right, but I filmed it and I did all right. I rewatched, the first time I filmed myself with these 2 gigs, Concrete Cud and this Crack Comedy. And I rewatched myself, and I realised I need to not stand behind the microphone stand. I need to be more casual in my approach. And I think the microphone stand is almost a barrier between me and the audience. So I need to move it. And then I thought, how else can I be more fluid? And I thought, you know what? I will take my jacket off at the next gig. I'll go up with just my polo shirt or something on. I don't want to be a t-shirt. I still like to be smart, you know, smart casual. I want to take it seriously. I don't want to look like I've rolled out of bed. So I did that, and I rewrote my material. The stuff that I've been doing really well with, that, you know, got me the Spiky Mike Funhouse comedy gigs and stuff like that, I rewrote it. And I rewrote it in a much more conversational manner. And then I went up to Nottingham for the gig on the Wednesday. And in the car on the way up, I wrote some new material. And I rewrote it, and it's like a 2-hour drive. And I wrote, and first of all, Nottingham Canal House Comedy, their new act night, wow. I mean, just wow. It was sold out. There must have been over 100 people, easy, in there. Maybe 120, 130 people, easy. Great audience, young to middle. It was just great. It's £2 entry, really good. 6 acts doing 10-minute sets. And an MC. The MC forgot my name again. I don't know what's something to do with my name. Maybe I need to change it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it's so well run as well. But I went up, I moved the microphone stand behind me, and I just held the mic. Much more fluid, a lot more movement. Didn't have my suit jacket on, my blazer jacket, just a nice polo shirt, and I felt a lot more free. And I did my new material, well, I did the new stuff that I wrote in the car, and it went really well. Like, really well. And then I went into my old material that I had rewritten into a more conversational style, and that went amazing. And then I started talking to the audience. I don't know where that came from. I started talking to the audience. Didn't like go deep into it, but I started talking to them. Yeah, it was really good, really interesting. And I filmed that, I've put a clip up, by the way, of the Concrete Cud new joke that I did, and I've put a little 20-second clip up from Nottingham Canal House where it's just beginning of a routine. I don't put the whole routine, it's the beginning of a routine. But yeah, really interesting. And so now I am of that mind where I want to be more conversational. I think that's my learning curve. It's been a steep learning curve, and I didn't book any gigs for this week because my next gig is a week on Monday at the Comedy Store for that King Gong, which is like a brutal King Gong. In a weird way, I wish I had booked an open mic for the end of this week, but I purposely didn't because I just thought to myself, 3 gigs in like 4 days. I want to then review it all, rewrite, and so on. And I have learned now, I think I've learned about rewriting on stage. Because you hear this, a lot of comics write on stage. And I always thought that meant they'd go up and improvise. And it's not. Well, to me, it's not anyway. My understanding of it is not that now. My understanding of it is go up with material you've got ready, have it conversational, and be prepared to just let it flow. And you can tell, oh, I need to take that sentence out. Or you can tell that there's room for a joke there. Or the audience tell you. The audience tell you how to rewrite it, you know? And I think I'm learning that. Because it's like, for the next gig, the audience are going to hear what the last audience told me to tell them, if that makes sense. So it's very interesting that. I find that quite fascinating from these gigs I've done. I'm still not a believer in gig everywhere all the time, because I do think you need to step away and review what you've done and re-edit and rewrite and write new stuff. But I do think it pays dividends getting like a run of 3 gigs in a week and then stepping away, as opposed to getting 3 gigs in a month. I think short space of time, the way I operate anyway, because you're reviewing yourself, it's good. Definitely film yourself. So like I said, I started filming myself, and you learn so much watching it back. But I thought it was very clever having these kind of silent moments. I thought it made me sound, I don't know, prophetic or clever. It's not. It's not. Get laughs. Go for the laughs. So yeah, and I like this like writing. You know, if I'm driving to a gig and it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, then to me that is a great opportunity in the car to improvise and write some new material. It's a great writing time in a way. So yeah, I'm going to keep trying to do that and throw it in if I can, if it's good enough. But yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot. I've also got to say I've met some really nice people doing these gigs. I'm not going to, name call. I mean, this podcast gets listened to by about 50 people in Bangladesh, it seems. So I don't think the bots care if I say someone's name. But I'm really enjoying meeting them, talking to them. People of all ages, all backgrounds. I'll tell you something that I've noticed that I really like about stand-up that I've kind of come across. It's such an how do I explain it? Like an open space. Like it doesn't matter if you have a disability. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, trans, gay, straight, whatever. The only thing that matters is, are you funny? Like, I think that's really great, because I don't think that exists in any other walk of life. Now, I'm sure people who are, not a white, straight male will say, well, it's very hard for us because, and I'm sure there are concerns, gigs are at night, you worry you might get attacked, you might be open to more heckles than maybe a straight white male. But like, if you can handle a heckle, if you can put the person down, if you can be funny, they will be fine with you. I think that's a really interesting thing. That's just something I've noticed, because the reason I say it is I've met in the last couple of gigs gay acts, autistic acts, one of the MCs, I think he might have had cerebral palsy. I've met Indian, I've met young kids, like 20 something. Oh, camera's fallen. Well, on that note, I think, let's see if I can get me back up. Hello. Here we go. Okay, we got it back. I am going to go because I'm going to drive. But, we're going again. On that note, though, give us a follow. Check us out on Lawrence Lando, comedian, Instagram, YouTube. And until next time, adios.
Adventures in stand-up. I'm Lawrence and I'm gonna talk about my adventures in stand-up. Knock, knock, who's there? Me, Lawrence.